Yes, welcome back. Say Less Footy podcast time. It's the debrief, and we're debriefing round one of the finals this year. And wow, what a great start! It was just such good footy. Some games that were closer than we actually thought. Um, just oh, absolutely fantastic game nights against the Raiders. Oh, the Roosters Sharks game was just an absolute nail biter. The Panthers looked unstoppable against the Sean Johnson less Warriors, and Broncos just absolutely commanding victory over just the Storm that just did not just couldn't get anything right. I think they ran at about 67 percent possession for the whole game, 64% in the first half. So they couldn't really generate any attack because they just couldn't hold on to the ball. If the Broncos were only at 75% and still managed to score, 28 points, like it's just it's just absolutely massive win for the Broncos. It's just obviously a week off now, gives them some massive confidence heading into week three of the finals. The Storm, I always say never write off the Storm, but I just look at it and I think, well, Munster, Grant, Hughes, like the whole team needs a lift. Like they've got to find something up against the Roosters, and the Roosters always seem to play well against the Storm. I just don't know if they can do it. Obviously, you know, for the Broncos, everyone stood up. Top tackler, Paddy Carrigan, he was just huge. Renault was fantastic. Reece Walsh, as we expect now. Uh, Tony Staggs was on fire. Like, I can't really name a player that didn't really have a good impact. Billy Walters, oh, absolutely unreal. Yeah, the Storm just nothing was working for them. They just couldn't get it going. It was hard to watch. Look, there's too many just good plays in that team for them to, put another performance like that on this week coming. But I just I haven't put a line through the Storm, but it's pretty damn close. Like, they'll come up against the Roosters, and then they'll sort of jump over and play the winner of that game will play the Panthers, and I can't see them stopping the Panthers. Let's move on to the Panthers game now, and obviously the Warriors. The big thing was Sean Johnson getting ruled out, and yeah, just it showed so much. Just when they sort of, no knock on Dylan Walker as well. He stepped up to do a job for the team, and he's been absolutely brilliant as an impact player and covering a number of positions throughout the year. But him and Tamari Martin sort of trying to give those tackle options, you know, trying to work with Wade Egan, and they weren't it. That the Warriors tried to put up a good fight, but the Panthers were just absolutely strong on them. Like Fisher Harris had a huge game. All the backs, they're still obviously not at full strength, missing a couple of players there. Obviously, Luai gets another week to recover, and I think he'll be back for the game before the grand final. And Isaac Tungo as well. But the guys who stepped in, Peachy come on, played in hooker. Like the Panthers are really, really hitting up. It's good to see Luke Garner getting some game time now as well. Like he was sort of brought in from the Tigers, like, obviously Wooden Spoon last year, and now he's playing in a final series and he's getting game time. So good on Luke Garner. He's a real sort of he footy head. He loves his footy. He's a student of the game. I remember watching him like play for the Tigers, or even when he wasn't playing in during that COVID era and he was on the sideline, he's writing every play. Like the Panthers have got a really good player there in Ghana. The Warriors, don't ride them off. That was very, if you haven't got any options in attack, and all you're doing is turn the ball over when you get onto that fifth tackle, and all you're doing is defending, 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 like they just ran out of gas. It was yeah, they need to just go back, dust themselves off, and come out firing again this week against the Knights. I definitely, if you're a Warriors fan, do not write them off just yet. The Warriors are still in this in a big way. Obviously, Sean, it's a whole team game, but Sean Johnson will make a difference. Um, let's move on now. Okay, we got Sharks and Roosters. Holy schmoly. Now, I said this game would go down to the absolute wire, and it did. Oh, two tries apiece. Sammy Walker kicking the field goal. Oh, absolutely fantastic. It's like his third game back or something. Um, it's absolutely huge. Like just what he's gone through this year, getting dropped, getting injured, and now he's coming back and he's just ice in his veins in these finals games. Like, oh, it was so good. Just big defense from the Roosters, kept them in it. Just a freakish try to Wong, sort of a bit of a to use a Shane Flanaganism, a trap and scrap on the goal line from the Sharks. Ball just bounce up straight into Wong's hand, dives over and scores, levels up the game after the conversion. And yeah, Roosters just holding on. Yeah, what a great game. I hard luck to the Sharks. They were right there. They were so close to making it through. Home final as well. And yeah, Wade Graham's last game for the Sharks. He's been so good, such a great player. Obviously, he's going to move on and do really well with media commitments and stuff like that. But yeah, so many good players in that team, and they'll definitely bounce back. I saw someone say over the last like day or so. I saw an interview said Sharks need to rebuild. I don't think they need to rebuild. There's so much talent in there. I just think that they're just gonna just come on a little bit more next season, mature. Maybe bring in one or two players, but obviously, Wade Graham's going to be taking up a fair chunk of the salary cap, so a bit of money there to bring someone in, but they've got so much talent coming through. I think they just concentrate on that, and the Sharks will go well next season. The Roosters, they keep marching on into the second week of the finals now. You're just like me, most of you had the Roosters in the grand final at the start of the year. Do you Roosters fans start believing? Do you what? Obviously, they play really well up against the Storm, which have got this week. Anything can happen here. That roster is absolutely stacked to the brim. And yeah, Roosters can go on with this. Like stranger things have happened. Um, yeah, so Strip fans, get around it. Right, the last game. What an absolute roller coaster of a game. Like one of the best games of this season. Knights 30, Raiders 28. High luck to the Raiders. You absolutely fought tooth and nail. You were written off so much, and you hit the front early, 16 now, 16-6, sorry. The Knights came back, evened it up, and took off with 12 points ahead. The Raiders fought back. Oh, it got it all square at 28 all, and then it went to Golden Point. It was a bit confusing at the end. Obviously, I wasn't home watching commentary, watching it at the local footy club. Couldn't hear the commentary, and then to see the Knights get the penalty, Hudson Young offside, kicks the penalty, and then it's there must have been a rule change this year or last year. I don't understand. So apparently you can only I tried to Google this, but couldn't find anything. But apparently you can only winning Golden Point in finals through a try or a field goal. Yeah. It's the first time hearing about that. I was a little bit confused, but yeah, the Knights got it done. It was scrappy, but passing gamble, absolutely stand up and applaud. This guy, he just played an absolutely fantastic game. Yeah, both teams did, and just Kalen was immense again. Yeah, the Knights, what is that, 10 in a row now? Holy dooly. So, this is sort of in line with the last time they went on a run and they won a grand final in 2001. Yeah, can the Knights keep going? I, I mean, I think they can. Like, obviously, it's a big job to come up against the Warriors this week. But I really think that they can do it. Like every single player in that team has stepped up. Obviously, it's a Warriors home game, um, and the it's not at Hunter Stadium. The whole Mount Smart Stadium is going to be up against them. Oh, is this where we see Kalen Ponga stand up to for the years and years of the promise and the big paychecks that that the Knights have given him, signed from the Cowboys at a young age on big money, or does Sean Johnson step up and keep the fairy tale going for the Warriors? Like, oh, this is just so excited for this final series. I can't believe like so many people are around league at the moment, and it's the game is in such good shape. Like my team is just dead last, not even a sniff of the finals, and so many teams, so many people's teams are out, but they're still getting around this final series. It's still so exciting to watch. Anything can happen here. Like I have this feeling at the moment that even though the Panthers just, really touched up the Warriors, I get this feeling about, the '05 shades of '05. Honestly, need to make a segment. Shades of '05. Panthers against the Warriors. Give it a little bit of a dust up. Feel like the Warriors are going to loop back around the other side of the draw now. They should take care of the Knights, and then they'll move on and go up against the Broncos. And I have this sneaking feeling it could be a Panthers Warriors grand final. Now, there's a lot of games to go at the moment. The Knights could keep marching on. The Roosters, um, you know, Broncos, Panthers look like the absolute lock at the moment. There's so much can happen. So exciting for footy. Oh, just I didn't even know where to go. But Sean Johnson back this week. That's huge. Um, Panthers getting a rest so they can get Jerome Luai back there next week. That's huge. Roosters, wow, just what are they going to do? And the Knights, like, there's so much here. The Storm should be written off. Probably not. I just don't. My head is spinning that much. Like, that's just how much anything can happen in this final series. Like, what happens if the next game the Panthers play, Nathan Cleary gets injured, or a couple of their players get injured? Who knows? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, like, subscribe this video. Thanks for tuning in. This is Sailors Footy Podcast. Peace out. Yo.